The Suns are back. The big three. I thought I would never say that again because I think last week I said I would never say Bradley Beal, Devin Booker, Kevin Durant are big three. That's where I was as a Suns fan. But they came out tonight and the big three led the Suns with 72 total points combined in a 127 to 100. I put 110. 100 point win. How you doing, Jake? We got Jake on tonight. What's going on? You feeling pretty good?
What?
Let me fix that score.
The big three. Look at those numbers. Look at those numbers. I don't know. Did we just lose a whole bunch of games in a row? I can't tell. We just crushed the Lakers.
Yeah, no, there's nothing better than beating the Lakers, but in a cup game too,
totally
right? It's a cup game. Everyone's up for it, and you have your starters. Even if you're up by 30, you're still going to play them an extra 2 minutes to get those points up. The point differential is very important.
Mm-hmm.
So as they explained on the broadcast when they were reading their cue cards and their script about the play and how important it is, the Suns, they ran the score up. So you're feeling pretty confident right now in this team.
And in an efficient fashion. 51.5% from the field, over 40% from three. Where has this shooting been? Oh, yes, I remember now. It's been out with calf strains.
Yeah, that's where it's been. And we've been sitting here trying to watch this team and be okay with it and just hold on for dear life. And now they're back. And now we're feeling good. And it is Tuesday night. Does it feel like Friday to you? Do you have tomorrow off?
I don't have tomorrow off, but tomorrow's the last hard day of work.
Yeah, no, it's like a half day for everybody, right?
Week off, right?
Yeah. Tomorrow's a half day. Friday. Are you off Friday? Because I feel like a lot of people are actually working Friday.
Off Thursday, off Friday.
Okay, well, I'm glad we got that cleared up. I mean, I'm sure everyone gave a fuck
exactly.
about any of that.
I wonder what their work schedules are like when they're not here with us.
Yeah, they're like, you know what? The Suns, who cares about them? What
Suns
are they working? They have
Lakers,
Thursday, Friday.
I'm worried about the health of the podcasting team. Right?
Exactly. Yeah, their mental state, and if they can actually work full time and do the podcast part time, are they working tomorrow? How are they going to feel after Thanksgiving? Because we do have a game tomorrow night.
We do.
But then we don't have another game till Saturday, which is nice. So we can probably not feel as shitty after Thanksgiving. But what do you got to pop open tonight, Jake? Anything?
Well, I'm actually drinking a little bit of a new whiskey I actually picked up called Paul John whiskey. It's a whiskey from India, actually. And this is actually quite good. Yeah. And as John Voight always says, I just want to make sure you can help me analyze this because you are the body language expert of the Suns podcasting community.
Yes, of course.
So what do you think of this?
Taking a poop? What is that?
Well, it's that feeling after it's all been released, right? That sense of satisfaction. This is a positive body language face.
Okay. Well, I'll take that. I mean, it's either taking a poop,
that says a lot about why you've been so down on the Suns. You're like, they all got to take a shit.
Yeah, well, that's the way they've been playing, like they've been holding it in. But, we got a lot of positivity to talk about on this pod. I'm actually very excited. It is late, a late game for the Suns, but let's get this started, all right? You ready?
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to press the button. You ready?
Let's do it.
Oh my, I did fix the scoreboard. So there you go. Refreshing. 127 to 100. The victory goes to the Suns. And their big three had 72 points combined. I do want to talk about that third quarter right off the bat. But first, I got to ask my couple funny questions. 1 second.
Matthew, I've got to ask.
My first question for you, Jake, is, looking at the Lakers, a 3-game losing streak currently right now after losing to the Suns. JJ Redick, their head coach. Does JJ Redick look like a coach that after a loss like this goes in the locker room, rips his dick out, and just starts spinning it around and is just angry at this team, yelling at him why he's doing that? Do you picture him doing that? Because I can totally see that happening, and everyone's okay with it.
I think he's got a little bit of a freaky edge side to him. I noticed he was playing a little bit of the dominatrix when, if you remember that point, I think it was still in the third quarter, might have been the beginning of the fourth, when Aaron Reeves, right?
Austin Reeves,
yeah. Thank you.
Yep.
Got screened by Yusuf Nurkic and got laid out. and went down to the floor like this. Suns score the basket. Coach calls timeout, walks around his player who's still down on the ground going like this to go talk to his other players. He will show no shame. He wants to dominate that team and show him who's the boss, which might include whipping his dick out and just like spinning it around. Like, know who I am.
He's like, come on, you're next.
Yeah, exactly. I knock down threes. You don't knock down anything.
He was close to ripping that shirt off and just like having a jersey underneath and just, ready to go tonight's game. Like he was aggravated doing one of these once in a while. He's just walking around like, oh, this is all right. Just get this one over with.
You just have to laugh.
Yeah, exactly. Just got to get through it. And he did, but it was a pounding by the Suns. And I think that my real question is really just about the court tonight. This the unveiling of the new Suns tournament court, which is completely orange, an orange circle in the middle, PHX across it as a gradient. It does still have the Suns logo in the middle with the trophy. Your take on it, what you thought it looked like, and did it go good with the Suns jerseys, those black unis with the gradient trimming? Is that just a beautiful look for the Suns? Or are you kind of like, that was a little too much color for you?
No, it's funny. I haven't watched all the NBA Cup games that I probably could have. I've heard some people just saying, oh my God, have some NBA teams phoned it in this year with the courts. I kind of liked it. It looked kind of like a Phoenix sunset. There was a lot of orange, but it was kind of different melting shades of orange. So I thought it was kind of nice. It looked nice. The black uniforms helped keep the contrast going a little bit so you could actually see what was going on. It wasn't, color on color. I forget who's got, was it the Pacers maybe, that was just yellow on yellow and it just rough. And it's just like,
you saw that a lot last year. Last year, I feel like you had a lot of the same color and the same color, which was very hard to look at. But they kind of toned it down a little bit with the courts. It's not as bright, as crazy this year, I feel like, right?
It's you're not staring directly into the sun, but you see the sunset off to the side. You're with your gal. You're enjoying a nice night of dominating the LA Lakers.
Yeah, it was quite the domination by the Suns. I think that going from here, I wanted to talk about that third quarter. Also, James, just let me know what you think about the court in the chat. It'd be nice to know that. And also, I want to get, where you guys listen to this podcast? Is it the car? Is it in the bathroom? Let me know in the chat right now. I just want to know. After that, the third quarter was kind of crazy, right? It was a close game. The Suns were up by 2 points, 62-60, entering this third quarter. Then it was Nurkic turning it on. He had 10 straight points. Booker had 11 straight points. After that, Kevin Durant had 5. So I'm like, oh, could he just get double digits? And then we just have 3 players only scoring in one quarter, and they all have double digits. And it's right in a row, not intertwined. Because I'm like, I don't feel like that's ever happened. I was really rooting for that. But, man, that third quarter when they blew them out, how confident were you when they took that 20-point lead? You're like, it's over. Because I had that feeling back again. I haven't felt that in 5, 6, 7 games maybe. But now I'm just like, I believed in this team for sure heading into the fourth quarter with that 20-plus point lead, that this team definitely had it, and the Lakers were shook, and they were just done defensively.
Oh, God. Yeah. Wrecked them, damn near killed them. That was the third quarter right there. I'll be honest, watching the Lakers crawl into it, because we had a small lead in the first, and then the Lakers kind of closed it up to end the half. I didn't feel nervous. I felt very much in control. I thought the way Beal and Durant had been playing in that first half, very good. But the third quarter was just like Super Saiyan mode. I don't know what you'd want to call it. I actually got upset momentarily as Yusuf Nurkic had Austin Reeves, got his name right this time, in the paint, and he passed out instead of backing him down. And then on the next 2 subsequent plays, he has Rui Hachimura on him, and he backs him down like he's Shaquille O'Neal and puts the ball in the basket. I was like, okay, do that against the little guy for sure. But like Rui's kind of big, but it didn't seem to matter. Yusuf just decided to become a big man in that third quarter. Loved it. And so, yeah, it was it just felt like when we got going in that third, LeBron gives the signal, hey, let's keep my reserves, let's keep me fresh for future games. This one's over.
Yeah, we had 2 guys returning, but let's just talk about Nurk, actually.
Nurk.
Delicious definition, make them boys go crazy.
Oh.
I mean, Nurkic only had 2 points in the first half. Then he did just run off with the 10 points to start this third quarter, and he was doing everything. He had a block shot, he had an assist, he had a couple big rebounds for the Suns to really turn the game around ahead in the favor of the Suns. But yeah, you talked about his play down in the post where he kind of just passed up the ball on Reeves, which was kind of crazy. But then he just kind of was like, you know what? The next time I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to go against Rui, which JJ Redick, we brought him up early in the podcast about his spinning wiener. He was definitely in his face the next time out after that big run by Nurk, where he's just like, come on, use your forearm, kind of get into him a little bit. He kind of was just being abused. And it was pretty
Yusuf was swinging. Yusuf knew about the swinging wiener maneuver, and that's exactly what he did. Banged into Rui twice, swung the other way, and put the ball in with a power shot. That pass out on Austin Reeves, I can't just tell if that was because if I remember right, it was kind of like a fast break opportunity, and Reeves was the first guy back, so he was trying to take Nurkic. Nurkic ends up passing out, and I think it gets swung back to him for a three eventually in the corner. And that's why I was like, why did you not just destroy that little man? And I think probably after that, he's like, yeah, I should have certainly just done that. So that he just decided to punish Rui when he got on him. So as much as Anthony Davis hates to play in the post, if he refuses to play in the post, Lakers will struggle down there.
Yeah, and like John Trent says, JJ Red Wiener. So we'll stop talking about his wiener. I think that's 12 minutes into the podcast almost. We talked about it 3 times.
A lot of wiener stuff, yeah.
Yeah, I'm sorry. That's how it goes without John. I just don't know what else to talk about. So, but Nurkic was big, and it's just like the flip flop on him. How the one guy that you want traded from this team, everyone's looking for. Jonas Valanciunas. Not everybody, but his name is out there. Jonas is a big name from the Washington Wizards. Just in the trade market. Are you a fan? Before we move on to the return of Kevin Durant and Beal, are you a fan of Jonas? I mean, his field goal percentage obviously is very high. In the paint, he's a guy that can score better than Nurk in the paint. You think that's a better fit for the Suns right now?
I don't know about necessarily better fit. It's especially coming off of a game like this tonight. 12 points, 12 rebounds, 3 assists, 0 turnovers from Nurk. That might be the biggest part, 0 turnovers. But I like the big V. It's funny. I remember back on Dave King's solar panel, God rest his soul. I remember saying I like Jonas, and he's like, he's terrible. He's such an old school center, and I'm just like, Dave, I still think that can be effective. Nobody else is going to guard people down there, and he's got a lot of confidence when he shoots threes as well. I don't know how effective he would be at distributing, but honestly, I don't know if that's really going to be a requirement moving forward. So, but hey, Nurk had a good game. I don't want to think about shipping him out right after that.
No, I know. I don't either. It's just, it was leading into this game. I think with the 5-day break that the Suns had had, there was a lot of stuff going on. That was one of them on Twitter. I think a lot of teams, including the Lakers, are probably going to look at that as a big man because there's going to be some trades in LA. In Subreddit was crazy today. A lot of good stuff. I was laughing my ass off. I was on playback reading their comments, and a lot of it is about the Lakers having to make a trade, and that's exactly what's probably going to happen here within the next month or so. So let's talk about one of the guys that returned today.
Who the heck are you? I'm Kevin Durant. You know who I am. Y'all know who I am.
Did anybody see a sniper? Did anybody see anything?
I'm one of the best players to ever play the game.
He's Kevin Durant, man. We know who the fuck he is.
Dr. John Voida has joined the podcast, and he is live from his are you in your Jeep, or what did you ride to the game in?
I'm in my Ram.
Oh, his Ram truck. Okay, he brought out the Ram truck over the Jeep today. I don't think he owns a Jeep. Kevin Durant's back, baby. We're 15 minutes in almost, and we're just now talking about him. What do you think,
The Suns are back, baby.
You think they are?
What you guys have covered, but obviously getting Kevin Durant back means something to this team. Getting Bradley Beal back means something. And, that little run we had where we lost 5 consecutive games and 6 out of 7, that's in the rearview mirror right now. We can have a good time. Let's celebrate. Jake, what's going on, buddy?
Yeah, so Kevin Durant tonight, he had 23 points. He had 2 assists, 6 rebounds. He did play 29 minutes, which is nice. The first half, it was kind of, He was off the court most of the first half, I feel like. Second half, a lot of minutes. They finished the game kind of strong to get that point total up. Now the point differential should be about, I think, plus 16 or something right now
plus
in
19.
the NBA Cup. Plus 19.
We're leading the Group B standings.
Yeah, and they have a chance, and I didn't bring it up earlier, but if the Suns do win out and then the OKC Thunder do lose one game, then I think they have a chance to make it as a wild card or actually winning that division. But yeah, man, I mean, the crowd tonight there with the reception of Bradley Beal and Kevin Durant entering the game, was it loud? Was it crazy? Because I feel like this is the first Suns win, especially at Footprint Center, where it's not just single digits. It's not just a 2-point game or 3-point game. So it must have been a rowdy crowd there, huh, John?
Yeah, it was interesting because, to your point, we have yet to blow anybody out. And this is a game in which there's a lot of Lakers fans. Don't know if you know this. A lot of Lakers fans out here. So it was a rowdy. It reminded me the most fun I had at a game last year was against the Boston Celtics, because it was a highly competitive game. There was a lot of Celtics fans in the crowd, and so with every possession there was it wasn't murmuring, there was cheering, and a lot of that was happening through the first half tonight when we were up 62-60. But when the Suns came out at halftime and doubled up on the Lakers, outscoring them 36-18. It was just pure joy for all the Suns fans. And you could see Suns fans dunking on their Lakers friends in the crowd, knowing that we never have a right to do so because we've never won a championship and they've won 17 and all that fun shit. But for one night in downtown Phoenix, we had an opportunity to have a good time watching the Phoenix Suns slap the living shit out of the Lakers, much akin to Yusuf Nurkic setting a screen to Austin fucking emo head Reeves. It was beautiful.
Yeah, the one screen that wasn't called by the refs. I'm pretty surprised that was not called, because that was the shoulder leaning into him a little bit. He got away with it. And the Suns, obviously, there wasn't any kind of any ref issues tonight. I feel like the Suns kind of, did their best to kind of stay out of their own heads with the refs and stuff tonight, because I didn't notice it at all. But Jake, he is on the pod too. Jake, Fallen Founder.
Suns Planet, bro. What's up?
How are you feeling about Kevin Durant just outshining LeBron James tonight? LeBron James just kind of walking around defensively. What did you think about Kevin Durant? Is he the best old guy in the NBA right now?
He might be. 9 of 17, 3 of 6 from 3. I mean, and under 30 minutes. The big knock coming into this for both him and Beal were, why are they playing so many minutes? This is why they get calf strains, and this is why they're on a losing streak. And Beal and Durant coming in under 30 minutes, both shooting very well. It just, fresh legs for the old man. They loved it and they showed it.
Yeah. Do you guys want to talk about Bradley Beal too?
Well, let's stay on Kevin Durant real quick. So 38.8 minutes is what he was averaging this season. That's the most that he's averaged since he was 22 years old. And that's, again, to Matthew's point and to Jake's point, that was a pain point for the Suns because we needed him to score those points. If you look at teams like the Thunder and like the Cavs, teams that are at the top of their divisions and conferences, their star players, and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Donovan Mitchell, are both averaging right around 30 minutes a game. So that's what we need from Phoenix, is to have somehow unlock the ability to have someone like Kevin Durant play only 29 minutes. And it comes from the rest of the team stepping up and playing solid. Bradley Beal being one of them, but Yusuf Nurkic, great game tonight. Royce O'Neal hit a couple big threes in the third quarter, which when those kind of things happen, that's what can allow Kevin Durant to play less minutes. We need to seek every opportunity we can to have a night like tonight. Winning by 27. But at the same time, that's the recipe for long-term success for the Suns. Okay, Bradley Beal.
Yeah, it was nice too. Just really quick too. I think that the ball handling too went to Tyus a lot too. You didn't see too much of KD kind of handling it until it was his turn in the third quarter. But yeah, Bradley Beal.
Booker too.
And she said, "You're not the only one, but you're the best, Bradley."
Beal also had 23 points. He did have 2 rebounds, 2 assists, 3 personal fouls, 3 turnovers, 1 block shot. He was 3 for 6 from 3 points and 10 for 15 from the field. He was incredible. The only thing he had a hard time with was handling the ball in traffic a few times here and there, but he was spectacular. He was open a lot, just kind of really grooving his way into certain spots, running around screens. looked really easy for him tonight. I think this is the easiest shooting night he's had in a long time, and he knocked down a bunch of big shots, but also just had that big block on LeBron. That was the biggest.
Yeah.
I think that was like the cap on a really good night when he had the from behind block on LeBron, who was trying to do a reverse lay-in, and Brad came out of nowhere, and luckily he landed up straight, and he's still healthy. We'll see tomorrow if he's going to play. But Jake, what do you think from Beal, man? I think that we kind of forget about him a little bit because KD is back, and now we're 9-1 with KD. But Beal, man, like this is his best game. I feel like as a Sun today. It was a real crisp game by him.
It was very nice. Like, and the way he was snaking into the paint and getting some, tough layups in but just like, he's not. I feel like a lot of times last year it felt like he was just camping out by the 3-point line, and it's okay. Now it's Durant's shot. Now it's Booker's shot, and we talked about that on a lot of different episodes on Suns Jam, on Suns Planet, everywhere. Just the isolation ball, and I think John made a good point. Durant is the best of, if you're going to do isolation, that's probably true. But this year feels a lot more just from on the eye test of Booker and Beal, especially being able to get into a flow on offense and not just sitting back and waiting for a shot at the 3-point line. Beal would attack sometimes last year, and it always felt refreshing. During this game, he was attacking a lot, and it was great, and it was effective. And I think, again, that's why the shooting from the big three, all three of them, was very efficient. And it wasn't just like the last 4 or 5 games of Booker maybe having 1 or 2 phenomenal games, and then the other 3 were just like, oh, my God, how many shots is he going to chuck up? Like all 3 of them are starting to kind of find where their niches are, I think. It just took a year and a quarter to figure it out.
What do you think, John?
Yeah, Beal, like, I don't know if he was down in the media room before the game, getting some Cheetos and some hot dogs and such, and he had kind of some Nutter Butter fingers out there because it felt like the ball was kind of slipping out of his hands multiple times. I think he ended with 3 turnovers. But at the same time, it was his aggressiveness right out of the gate that set the tone for the Suns. I mean, he hit a 3 and then another 3, and it was just kind of one of those things where it showcased that he wasn't going to be passive. I think that he's embracing the opportunity, knowing that, he said it after practice yesterday. He's like, you know what? Like, once again, like, I'm so thankful to be in Phoenix because they're not rushing me back from injury. Now, granted, the fan base, we want him back as soon as fucking possible because we were losing. But because of that, he's coming back much healthier than he would have in the past. And we saw it tonight, those 23 points, the unbelievably efficient shooting. He was kind of, whenever the Lakers would get close, because the Lakers, they were kind of, I don't know what their highest lead was. It's probably like 4 or 5. But it was Bradley Beal who was the one who was kind of stopping their runs, if you will. So he was kind of the butt plug tonight. He was kind of the run stopper. He was the one who was avoiding diarrhea going down the leg. And for that, I appreciate him.
Yeah, you got that from a lot of guys tonight too. Like even Royce O'Neal later in the game hit some big threes. Grayson Allen was huge during one stretch where he had 8 points. You just got everything, like I feel like from one player at one time during the game to really help the Suns push this lead to 30 plus points. The next guy we want to talk about is Devin Booker, but is there anything else you want to talk about with Beal or Kevin Durant? I mean, them being back, the joke is they're back to play tonight, and then tomorrow night they won't play. If they are just scratched from tomorrow night's game, just being that it is a back-to-back, is that something that you're going to be like, oh, here we go? Or are you just going to be like, that's just part of the plan with 13 more back-to-backs, including this one left on the season?
No, they should play. I mean, they're playing Brooklyn. Brooklyn is a subpar team. And how many back-to-backs did you say they got left? 13, right?
13, including tonight.
Yeah, tomorrow. So, I mean, guess what? That's part of the season. Obviously, they didn't get overly taxed with minutes. There's going to be an opportunity to ask them how they feel and to see if they're ready to go tomorrow. But I think it's a good matchup for them to go, you know what? It's a back-to-back. This is something we have to get used to. We're not Kawhi Leonard. We're not Joel Embiid. Our team needs us to be out there to be effective. So that's what we have to do. So get them out there. Let them play.
Yeah, Jake.
And plus, we're not playing till Saturday. So guys, go hard, and you'll get some rest, and everyone can have a nice Thanksgiving, including the fan base. The win against the Jazz that we had, 4 or 5 games back, tells me that it wouldn't be the worst if one of these guys is like, hey, it's a little tender today. Let one of us step out. We did have Beal and Booker for that Jazz game. And they took care of business, and it felt comfortable the whole time. So I won't be nervous if one of them has to sit out. But, yeah, I would be a little upset if both of them just right away are just like, yeah, we don't want to play against the Nets.
Yeah, no, and then Beal kind of just saying like I would be out there to play. They just kind of hold me back. It's a longer season. I think he obviously has to say that because he knows the frustration. Like a guy that suffers from migraines, it's probably so annoying to work with someone that has migraines like me because it's like, oh, I have a migraine. It's like, dude, you just had one 2 weeks ago. You have another one. It's the worst. Yeah, you just kind of get that look from people. Like people give to Bradley Beal missing all these games. That's what he's known for. I'm known for migraines. He's known for missing basketball games. So I feel you, Beal. We're about the same kind of guy, I feel like, right?
Allow me to reintroduce myself. My name is
Big Dick Booker.
What a stat line from Book. 26 points, 10 assists tonight. He did lead all scorers with 26 points. Even Anthony Davis, who had 25. Book looked good. This is probably my favorite Book game of the season. This is probably just my favorite Suns game. But by far, I think my favorite Book game. There's stretches in the first quarter where he ended it without Kevin Durant and Bradley Beal, where he scored 4 straight points. Bradley Beal comes back in. He hits a couple assists to Oso. Was it Oso? I think I wrote down Oso. Yeah, whatever. Who cares? What do you guys think from Bradley Beal or Devin Booker? Wow, I'm losing the podcast. Everyone, hold on. What do you think about Devin Booker? Big Dick Book.
Yeah, it was Kiko G says fully erect tonight. I mean, the last few games, it's like not being fully erect a few drinks in, and you're trying to get handle your business. It's a little bit more difficult, and it's a little bit more of a challenge. You might say you got a migraine, but we all know what's going on, right? Maybe you've overindulged. Tonight, dry. The guy didn't have a drink, fully erect. Took him to Pound Town, got the job done, handled his business.
All right. Fourth time we talked about winners.
Who would have known that Bradley Beal returning and Kevin Durant returning would act as a little blue pill for Devin Booker? Because he was slanging that dick all over the court tonight. I think that Austin Reeves slipped a couple times on the skeet that came out of Big Dick Booker's big dick because it was amazing to see him out there and the way that he operated. It was interesting because there's one thing that Coach Mike Budenholzer did that we haven't really seen much of this year, and we haven't seen it all when it's Booker playing with Beal and Durant, and that is he played the entire first quarter. Now, perhaps that is because you want Bradley Beal and Kevin Durant to get some rest. You're pulling them early, whereas in the past they were pulling Booker early. But it's nice to see Booker out there in playing the entire first quarter and playing kind of in the rotational minutes that we're used to seeing Booker play in. He wasn't scoring a ton in the first. I think he only had 4 of his 26 points, but he was passing the ball. He was setting up the offense. He was finding his space. He was getting into his rhythm. And it was and you nailed it, Matthew. I know that Booker had a 40-point game this year, but he also, this is the best game that I've seen him play in its totality because I think that the time that he had to spend suffering made him appreciate having Beal out there, having Durant, simply for spacing purposes. Now, there was still some opportunity for him to get some calls that kind of didn't go his way, but in summation, the way that Devin Booker played tonight, fully erect. I'm fully erect, driving home right now. I just had to try to take a left, and I almost went right into a curb because of the erection.
Well, the dong chart so far, whoever's keeping count in the chat, I think that's the 11th to 12th time we talked about a dong. Before you came on, John, we already had talking about JJ Redick and how he spends his wiener
so much
at the team in the locker room because he's so angry at him. So
as well he should. Well he should.
And he does. He does. Devin Booker tonight, though, he did have the 10 points in a row right after Nurkic went off.
11
points in a row. And it was insane to see that, but I just think that body language wise, it was a different Booker because you just noticed him out there. Like he was moving the ball and everyone was hitting their shots too, but finding guys. It was Allen in the first quarter he was finding because Allen was pretty hot at the time, but he was noticeable. Like the whole thing with him playing alongside the other two, you didn't notice him as much early in the season, but he just seemed like he was that guy tonight. Obviously, Kevin Durant only playing the 29 minutes. he was good at times, but it wasn't like the Kevin Durant earlier in the season. It's going to take him another couple games probably to get back to that guy. But Booker was the guy tonight. I know he hasn't been all
Durant
season,
was fine. Get back to what? He was perfect. He's exactly what you needed tonight. All three of those guys just played ancillary role. No one was like, I have to carry the weight of this penis, this world, to a victory. No, they're like, all right, you play a little bit, I play a little bit. Kevin Durant had 23 points. It was the most quiet 23 points I've seen. I was like, oh shit, at like halftime, I think he had like 14. I was like, oh shit. It's just so smooth. Just so smooth, like a ball sack.
Yeah, Kevin Durant was absolutely fine, but the way he played in those first 9 games, that wasn't the Kevin Durant we saw tonight. It was smooth. There were some weird moves by him down in the paint too, with those turnarounds, like 360s. I don't know what those were, if those were on purpose or not, but they kind of looked a little awkward and the ball went
God,
in.
you're such a Kevin Durant hater, Matthew.
Yeah,
Jeez.
and Devin Booker, I think he might be the best player right now for the Phoenix Suns. He did take back the throne tonight. I don't want to hear anything else. But let's talk about actually this guy. At times tonight, he looked really fucking good.
Oh, you know what I'm talking about.
Oso Ighodaro.
So Oso, is he our best big offensively in the paint? I know tonight Nurk looked really good, dominating, but offensively, does he just know what to do? Cutting, just finding a guy on a nice pass, that little floater shot. Is he better than Nurk right now when it comes to his offensive game, or is it still Nurk?
I think if you're talking this fucking asshole, learn to fucking drive, you motherfucker. I think in totality, yes, but it's so tough because he's a rookie, right? Like you don't want to put that so many eggs. This guy doesn't know what the fuck he's doing. He has no idea where he's going. He needs the Waze app like fucking bad. Jesus Christ, dude, get out of my way. Anyways, so Oso Ighodaro, from a totalitarian standpoint, which is probably not the right use of this word, the way he passes, I think, is so impressive in the paint. And obviously, he's a rookie. He's got a long way to go. But foundationally, he's fantastic. Don't you think so, Jake?
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think he's got a lot of that raw. Raw sounds more negative than it needs to be, but he has a variety of offensive moves and skill sets that you want to see in a big man. He's not as, he's certainly got more athleticism than Nurk has. I would still say, though, that Plumlee and Nurk are better offensively, both of them. Plumlee just more veteran presence, kind of knows when he can, get busy, kind of down low. And so we're going to see a little bit more of those rookie mistakes. But we'll see the flashes of athleticism that are just like, man, this guy is going to be fantastic. And he should continue to develop. And if he ever develops a 3-point shot too, then look out. He's really going to have something going.
Yeah, I think it's
and
just
what I'll say.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry. What I'll say real quick is I think his ceiling is just a solid rotational player. He does have a lot of limitations due to his size. And as you mentioned, Jake, his ability to shoot. And I don't know. I mean, we've all seen the jumper. I don't know if there's any, if you could fix that thing anytime soon. But a rotational big is definitely he's the 40th overall pick. He's our second round pick. He's a rookie playing quality minutes for stretches for this team. And if his ceiling is a rotational player, I'm all for it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. I just think that there's something there with him offensively in the paint. Obviously, he doesn't shoot the 3 at all, but there's something where you just trust him with the ball in there and just know what to do and make the right pass, the right shot. He's not going to really force anything anymore. He's very calm, cool, and collected now, it seems like, and he's going to continue to do better. It's fun to have that guy.
Senior coming out of Marquette?
Sure.
I think he was. He certainly had at least a few years of seasoning to him. He doesn't play like a one and done. That's for sure.
I see what you did, Ryan Dunn, didn't you? You sly dog, you. No, I feel like he did a couple of years one place and then a couple of years at Marquette. I'm probably wrong there, but he is an older, more mature center, and again, fundamentally sound. I mean, there's a play where, I think Booker gave him the ball, and then he instantly turned and hit Bradley Beal cutting on the baseline. And players know that if he's going to be in the game, cut. Because you're going to get rewarded, because that's the first thing he's looking to do, especially from 12 feet out. He's not turning around trying to hit a jumper or a hook shot. He's looking for somebody to pass the ball to. And the team, as more repetitions occur for this young rookie, he's going to reward those around him, and that's going to garner him more minutes moving forward.
Dun 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 dun. Dun 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 dun
LeBron had a little bit of a bad outing tonight. It wasn't really due to Ryan Dunn this time. Remember, the first time it was Ryan Dunn that kind of held him to, I think it was 11 points. Tonight, LeBron had 18 points, but it wasn't Dunn doing any of it. But Dunn did have a good stretch there in the second quarter. He had 5 straight points to really open up things for the Suns there. That was all he had. So on the broadcast, they're talking about his 3-point shot. He is up to, I think, 30 or down to 33% right now, shooting behind the line, behind the arc. Any concerns with Ryan Dunn, or is he kind of just falling into his place? He'll kind of learn things here or there and just kind of have big moments here or there, but he's not really counted on as a guy to come in and hit threes anymore, right? I mean, he's kind of been, I think, struggling. I think I had his...
I don't think he was ever relied upon to be a guy to come in and shoot threes. I think that was a plus. He's always been brought in to be kind of a defensive stalwart, and if he could hit a couple threes, great. That meant we got more minutes out of him. But if he's fallen down to 33%, that's okay. I think that we all agreed that, again, for this rookie who had a horrible track record of shooting in college at Virginia, if he could shoot 33%, that would be acceptable enough to at least garner him some minutes with the second team unit.
Yeah, Jake, what are you thinking about Dunn?
Yeah, no, I'm sorry. So I've seen it in a few different comments. John's got like that Bill O'Reilly mic level right now. That's just like a whole nother 5 notches above you and I. So when he jumps in, or it's like borderline like Alex Jones.
Enough to where
this is what's really going on. Kevin Durant was fine. Then we see a bunch of comments like, I love Angry Driving John podcast. So no, back to Ryan Dunn. I'm not worried about Dunn because I thought he was going to shoot 20% from 3 coming out. I thought he was going to be unable to hit the broadside of the barn. And so if he's shooting 33%, I think he's going to improve now that he's with the second unit a little bit more than what we've been seeing the last 5-6 games where we've had to rely on him as an offensive weapon, which is something we didn't want to do, but we just had so many injuries.
Yeah, and also Royce O'Neal's been struggling too. I'm not going to play his drop, but he's been struggling. Last game he hit against the Knicks. He was 5 for 10 from 3. It was kind of garbage time there, but he was 0 for 5 the game before, 1 for 4, 2 for 6, and then 1 for 6. Now he hit 3 threes. Looked like he was a little bit back. He hit the 3 threes later on in the game, kind of struggled in the beginning, but it's nice to see him get his touch back. But I'm always kind of a big defender of kind of having Grayson Allen play big minutes. Grayson did have 24 minutes played tonight. Or 23 minutes, almost 23 minutes, which is kind of nice to see. But between those two, I guess you kind of just rely on like who's going to get hot. But I'm more in favor of Grayson Allen right now, just for the fact that he can kind of get the rim and do other things here or there. I think he just needs more time, the ball more and stuff when he's in the game over Royce O'Neal. But I don't know if you guys fair on that. If you're a big fan of both, obviously, but who would you prefer, Allen or Royce O'Neal right now?
Ooh.
Just to come in and get hot, to make some big shots.
I don't think I prefer one over the other. I mean, you need them both. And if they're both coming in, again, the challenge that we had with all of the injuries is we had to rely upon their scoring to make up for the 44 points that we're missing with Beal and Durant. But now with those points back, if one hits and one misses from night to night, that's the sweet spot for the Suns. If they both hit, then you're going to blow teams out. If they both miss, it's probably going to be a tighter game. So I wouldn't necessarily prefer one over the other. I know that they're both equally as valuable and provide different aspects of depth to this team. Both can shoot the 3. Royce O'Neal is a better defender. But as you mentioned, Matthew, offensively, Grayson Allen has a little bit more in his bag.
And that would be essentially where I would lean to. If I need a basket, I'm going to lean towards Allen. But if I need somebody to try and get, to lock someone down, it's going to be O'Neal. But I think Allen is a good defender, maybe not a great defender. I think O'Neal can be a great defender, but and O'Neal can be a very good shooter. He's just they're both streaky in their own ways. It's just I'd say it's kind of 1A, 1B. One's a little bit more defensive minded. One's a little bit better of a shooter.
All right. Yeah. that pretty much wraps it up for the players. There's one more player I want to talk about, and then if you guys have anything else on the game, let me know. But let's talk about Tyus Jones really quick.
Sha la 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 la. Mr. Jones and me.
I don't know much, but I know that our drops are so much better than the Suns' planets.
Aw. Should I boot him, Jake?
Yeah.
You guys kick him out? Should I have a hit and run ordered on John?
No. I got like a couple great stories to tell you once we're done here. Fucking legendary stories.
Revitalization of our drops. It's it's a work in progress.
Well, anyways, so Tyus Jones tonight. I just wanted to mention him because in the first half it looked like he was handling the ball a lot more. He only had the 8.6 assists. But did you guys notice though? Like it seemed like even with the Durant and Beal back, maybe they're just kind of working on
5 steals.
5 steals, yeah, big. And he also was just handling the ball a lot more. What do you guys think about that? Did it look like that to you or no? Because I definitely thought he was kind of moving the offense around and just bringing the ball up more than Kevin Durant, Beal, and Booker, not taking turns. Because I feel like when those guys were healthy, it was just taking turns. But now it's just like all Tyus in the first half when he was actually playing.
Well, so I caught the Suns radio team that were able to interview Tyus after the game. They asked him, if he's settling into his role here, and he said every game's a little bit better. And he had mentioned obviously the injuries kind of shifted his role a little bit, but he's just when the big three are out there, he is the silent setup man, and it feels like I said, it feels very cozy. I haven't felt this cozy since Chris Paul. Helped take the team to the finals, where there's just that outlet to of one of our dynamic offensive players maybe runs into a jam. There's Tyus out there to reset the play instead of kicking it back out and somebody taking a wild shot. Tyus resets it. He might not even get as many assists as we would hope that he can, but it's just a calming presence, and it kind of helps everyone reset and gets our shooters a little bit more focused. So, the 5 steals, I'll be honest, I didn't even remember that. So I had to come back.
I remember a couple. I didn't know he had 5, though, total.
But, he's just I
like what Jake said there. It's –
Good.
Okay. Well, I like what you said about the resetting because – no, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Can you hear me? Okay. So I like what Jake said there about him resetting possessions, because I think that's where we need to kind of morph some of our expectations relative to Tyus Jones. Bringing the ball up is one aspect of being a point guard, and sometimes KD brings it up, and sometimes Beal brings it up, and sometimes it's Booker, and sometimes it's Jones. And a lot of people will be like, well, I just want Tyus to bring it up all the time, because in their mind, they're like that. Well, that's what the definition of a point guard is. They're the one who brings the ball up. It's like, no, a point guard is the person who is going to provide direction and, to Jake's point, reset a possession that's gone south. Because generally what occurs is a possession begins, you run a play, and if the opposing defense cuts somebody off or bumps somebody off of a back screen, all of a sudden that offensive possession isn't going according to plan. You need to have somebody have the ball in their hands and have them reset it. And I think that Tyus Jones has showcased that ability time and again. His usage rate is not high. If you look it up, he does not have a high usage rate, but he does have a high effectiveness rate, which is not a real stat, but I think it should be.
Yeah, I feel like the usage rate was definitely up this game. I think the reason being just those guys are back now from injury and just kind of working them into things. Did you have anything else on the game tonight? I mean, any takeaways from the game, John, Jake, anything? Anybody else want to talk about?
Did you talk Nurk?
We talked Nurk first, yeah. What's your take on Nurk?
Okay, I was about to say, man, Nurk was fucking amazing in this game, because you have to think about how he generally plays against Anthony Davis. And the game plan by Mike Budenholzer at halftime was, let's fucking bombard the Lakers with Nurk Daddy. And he scored those first 10 points. And then the first basket that he didn't score was an assist from Nurkic. And he changed the tide of this game. It was a 2-point game at halftime. And Nurk is the one who came out and changed the tone. So I just wanted to throw it out there about what he had. We can talk Jamstar and whatnot, but just leave me a little time to tell a couple stories.
Well,
okay.
Do you guys?
All right,
think, do you think the cupping helped Nurk?
The cupping?
Oh, did you guys not notice that? So watching
on his back,
his back, you could see the cupping marks of where he had undergone cupping, and I was like, "Oh, dude, looks like he's got some."
You should have seen.
Girl was like,
you should have seen the one on his dick.
No, exactly. I was like, somebody was getting God, what was that called? Like when you'd kiss a girl and you'd like
hickey.
Yeah, hickey. It looked like he had hickeys on the back of his neck. But yeah,
they were. Yeah.
He was leaving hickeys on Rui Hachimura in the third quarter.
Indeed, dude. That's what he's been doing, trying to suck up blood from everybody to try to get help.
The Suns Jam Session Subreddit Stakeout.
Oh, I've been waiting a long time for this. All right, so subreddit in LA was actually pretty fun today. So I still despise that KD and Golden State movie. That shit was so whack. This franchise is stuck in the mud. This is talking about the Lakers. The definition of mediocrity. They need to get lucky and land a true franchise player like the Dodgers did with Ohtani. All right, that was a little Italian there at the end. Oh, I've been waiting a long time for these. Right, so let's say that D'Lo sequence made me want to punch my dick. What the hell is an Ighodaro? This is some of the worst basketball I've ever seen. About talking about Nurk on his 9 points in the second half. They're like, this is some of the worst basketball I've ever seen. Holy shit, we actually cosplaying Jokic and it's working. LeBron sitting in the no man's land watching this guy shoot wide open threes is sad. And after the third quarter, there was like no more comments except for D'Lo shit. So that's what I have for subreddit.
They talk.
The Suns Jam Session Subreddit Stakeout.
What's up?
Oh, I was just saying they talk a lot of shit about D'Lo on their subreddit, man. If you ever go to a Lakers subreddit, any game, they just fucking dog D'Lo the whole time, and rightfully so.
Someone said I missed Valley Girl. Really? Whatever.
I don't know after that.
All right,
that was damn good. Fucking Creepy Crawley doesn't know his ass from his elbow. I can't believe that guy's on a podcast. He doesn't know anything.
He's just mad because
he can't do an impression to get. It does, yeah. Now he's fully erect.
Yeah. All right, we'll do the jam start.
Jam star of the game.
Everyone like, subscribe, write a review. Let us know what you think about the pod. Let us know where you're watching the pod or listening to the pod. I would like to know where you actually listen to and watch the pod. Jake, tonight's jam star of the game. What are you thinking?
Well, real quick before I get into that, I want to share a very brief story too.
Oh, come on.
I'm gonna make up a name for myself. No, because you guys will both very much enjoy this one. But when I'm over at my girlfriend's place, I actually was on her YouTube on her smart TV, and I subscribed to Suns Jam on it, so I could watch a few of the shows when I was over there. And recently, I was watching it. I forgot how many games ago this was, but I was watching it, and I was getting ready to head out the door, and she goes, "Why aren't you watching that your podcast? It's awesome." And I said, "That's not my podcast." And she's like, "What are you talking about? It's really good." And I said, "Do you not know that I've had a different podcast for on 2 years now?" And she's like, "Well, I thought that was the one." And I'm just like, they're very appreciative that you like their content. I'm sure of that. So that's what I wanted to mention. But I'm going to give it to, I loved everything the big three did tonight. If they could be one player, I'd give it to them, but I can't. I have to give it to one. It's going to be Nurk. I loved how he kicked it up a notch that third quarter. And I think that was the difference in the end.
All right. Psycho John, what do you got, dude? In the dark over there.
Hanging out here outside my house with the Christmas lights. Ooh, my family. I want to give it to the Statement Edition jerseys. I think the way that they looked on that orange court tonight just absolutely popped. And if you go to my Twitter, you'll see this one picture I took right before the second half began. And it's got like Booker, Durant, and LeBron in one picture. I was just taking random pictures. I looked at it, I was like, holy shit, that turned out amazing. But that's who my jam star is. That beautiful jersey, because the way they played it, the Suns are now 2-0 in the Statement Edition jerseys this year.
Yeah, look good.
Averaging 126 points.
I did see those picks too. It's kind of funny because I feel like a lot of people are taking those picks from like the second deck, third deck now, like with the courts and stuff. Those look a lot better than like up close. Those are really flying off the wall right now. Let's see. I think I'm gonna give it to Book. Why not? Book is my favorite game by far from him. Roaring Cactus gave it to Nurk. Jamstar from Freddie Norman says Nurk for putting Austin flopping ass on the ground in a good clean screen. Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
I guess so. Lee McManus, big 3. Yeah, definitely. Mark and Nurk was an X factor, but not a Jamstar. So who's your Jamstar? Did I already read it? Seth Logan Hopkins, Word Jake. All right, Roaring Cactus again, big 3. No one's really giving them, so everyone go suck a lemon. So I think we have a few stories from John. We have 9 minutes and 30 seconds, John.
All right, I will do my best. So first and foremost, I just want to start by thanking everybody who watches this podcast and supports brightsideofthesun.com because of that, Matthew and I are credentialed media members, so we get to go experience these games from a credentialed standpoint. And there's been a few times that I've done that where I just walk away going, fuck, man, this is awesome. I had and you could probably hear this entire podcast. I'm not drunk. I'm not drinking. I was working tonight. You know, I'm drinking. Here it is. It's Dasani water in a can, Matthew. They had these in the back tonight. But I just had so much fun at this game. And there's a couple experiences that just made it fun. You know, one, I was out there when LeBron came out, and LeBron doesn't normally come out for shoot around. I've been to a few Lakers games, and I haven't seen him come out. And I was sitting behind the Lakers bench, and I was taking some video of him coming out before a Suns representative, one of our good buddies, Palmer's like, "Hey, man, you're not supposed to be sitting here. Media's not supposed to sit behind the." Did he get you doing that too?
Yeah, he tapped me on the shoulder.
Wish you would have told me.
I thought I did.
No, well. And I, but it was cool because I was right there when LeBron came out. I got some cool stuff, and like that was pretty awesome. And then I went in the back, before the game starts, they have a buffet, and you go and you get some food, and it's really good food. And I was just sitting there, and it's always interesting who I'm eating dinner with, right? So like the last game, I ate dinner with K-Ray and Eddie Johnson. We're talking about the Dallas Cowboys before this past game and what Jerry Jones should do. And this time, I was sitting there with Mark McClune, who's News Channel 3. Does the pregame shows now for AZ Family, and John Gambadoro, and another gentleman who I didn't know. And it was just it was a political conversation about what Trump is going to do and all this stuff, and arguments. I mean, Jake, you would have loved the conversation because you're somebody who's worked in the political realm. Yeah, give it to me. Give it to me.
I'm just going to say the Suns played a great game tonight. They built a wall, a defensive wall all around LeBron James. He couldn't get over it, couldn't get around it. That's how you got to lock them down.
It was just, I was sitting there. I was like, and I thank Gambo. I'm like, Gambo, thank you. You got me ready for Thanksgiving in case any political conversations come up. But very civil, a very good, just productive conversation. And that's one thing that, I was thinking about recently, how I appreciate when you sit down and have conversations with people versus people interacting on social media, because obviously we've all seen how toxic that can be around the political landscape time frame, and how, when you have a conversation with somebody, you can display empathy and be like, listen, I don't agree with you on anything, but I understand what you're saying, and I can see why you voted that way, or you support that certain thing because the meaning, because it's a lot different than the discourse of like me saying something and then you typing something and then me typing and then me trying to dissect every word you said to try to flip something on you, and it's just annoying. And so it was nice to sit there and again, I thank Gamble. I'm like, I'm ready for Thanksgiving. But the moment of the night for me, a couple of my buddies were at the game, and so I went over and I saw them over in section 107, and then I walked down, and this is right as player warm-ups or they're doing the introductions. Like I'm walking behind the Suns bench when they're like, and it's Kevin Durant, and the fire's going on. And so I walk underneath the tunnel, as Matthew knows, and I went to the elevator. And so who did I stand and talk to while I'm waiting for the elevator?
Steve Nash.
Larry Fitzgerald.
Oh, wow.
So I was sitting there with Larry Fitzgerald. Larry Fitzgerald's bodyguard is wearing the same shoes that I'm wearing right now, which is the Book One Sunsets. And so I was just like, hey, Larry, man, where's your Book Ones, man? Like, you couldn't get them. He's like, oh, man, I'm a baller on a budget. I don't know if I can afford it. Like, they're $140, man. And so him and I are shooting the shit. We get on the elevator. He goes up to A. I go up to B. And I got off, and I was like, holy shit, man. I was just sitting there shooting the shit with Larry Fitzgerald and that big old booty of his, man. That thing is fucking massive.
Did it knock you out?
That thing is like, It's like 6 Dario Saric asses.
6. Yeah, but wrapped extra
Hard
tightly.
man to break down.
Yeah,
dude.
nice,
But
dude.
standing
Is
right
he
next to
still
him,
on
you're just
board?
like, imagine tackling this guy.
Yeah,
Is he still?
He used to be. I don't know if he's.
Couple points.
I'm sure he is. He was there with his kids. So I don't know.
so
But
that
it was
teaches
just- it
us
was
always
really
to take
fun.
the elevator over there by it over there by the it's the only elevator, right? By like the family room.
Yeah, the one that's by that bathroom that like all the Suns dancers use.
Mm-hmm. Oh, very cool, man. Well, is that all he had to
Yeah,
say?
so-
He's balling on a
Bathroom
budget.
assist?
That's
Yeah.
a T-shirt right there.
Some pastors going to work.
Yeah, he's like, I'm a baller on the budget. He's like,
Yeah.
he's like, no, I don't have any pairs of book ones at home. And then me and his bodyguard were both like, damn, dude, like, fucking Crawley, dude. I'm gonna block this guy. Next story, dude. You are so uninteresting.
You should have shanked.
But it
him.
was
Be like,
fun,
I
man.
got you, dude.
It was
Bodyguard didn't work.
Yeah.
Sorry.
It was so much fun. But and then obviously to go back up, like that happened at halftime. I was coming back that was the beginning of the game. And so I'm kind of on that aura, and then you watch it, and then after the half, when the Suns came out and just fucking beat the shit out of them, man, that was a fun game.
Did you do the recap?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Yeah, I got the
Did you write about
recap
any
done,
of
and I got the. I did not write about me meeting Larry Fitzgerald in the Bright Side of the Sun recap.
All right. Well, everybody, if you're still watching the pod, thank you for joining. I think that's all I have for this game. I wish I was at the game. I don't know if I guess it would be cool to meet Larry. Yeah, that was pretty awesome, man. I've always loved him.
Matthew's a Cowboys fan. He don't give a shit.
No, but I always liked Larry. I always loved Larry, so that would have been cool.
He's like,
I know Steve Nash was at
if
the
only
game, that's why I
Des
guessed
Bryant
him.
was there.
No, that would have been pissed, dude.
T.O.
No.
Are we doing a playback tomorrow night?
I think so. Is it 7:00 tomorrow?
Yeah, 7:00 game.
Yeah, I might. I'm off tomorrow, so I'll see.
Nice. I have a half day. Working from home half day.
Very cool.
Jake, what's your work schedule tomorrow?
Yeah, we already talked about it to start the pod.
Yeah, I got to work, but then I'm off for the week.
Oh, jeez.
Nice.
Well, sorry. I had to
Which
hear
is
that
why
twice.
I'm going to work tomorrow, just like Kevin Durant and Bradley Beal. I'm going to give it my all.
Yeah.
Because then I get to rest, and I'll be back.
Oh, I hope so, Jake. I hope you have a good Thanksgiving. Do you celebrate Thanksgiving?
I'm Mormon,
No,
but
no,
actually, I go outside the religious beliefs on it, and I celebrate it.
Okay. Well,
That's
I hope
not
you,
true in any way. But yes, I
I hope you
celebrate
get nice and
Thanksgiving.
full. I hope you get nice and full, and someone can rub your belly for you.
Wait.
Thursday.
Before we go, what is the
Yeah.
go-to? I was debating this at work. The most important, or maybe not most important. What are some you have to have side dishes?
Gravy.
I said gravy. Someone asked me that today too. I
Just
said
gravy,
gravy.
huh?
Gravy with like
It goes on
stuffing and
everything.
biscuits.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's my favorite.
Fun fact, I won't put it on my mashed potatoes.
Oh,
The
fuck
one
you.
thing you think that you have to put it on, right? I just put it on my
Yeah.
turkey pretty much.
Well, what kind of gravy? Is it like a white gravy or brown gravy?
Brown gravy.
Okay. My mom makes like a white
Ma-
one with some egg in it. It's really good. It's
Yes.
different. Yeah, it's so good.
Matthew's mom makes the best fucking gravy. And so my wife is making rolls, which by the way, Matthew, they're delicious. I got the
Sourdough?
first batch. And she's also sourdough rolls because she
Nice.
has like a sourdough starter. His name's Jesus Christ. He rises every third day. And she's also making a stuffing. And it's fucking delicious too. And it just needs Rose's gravy, and Thursday's gonna be really good.
Yeah, John,
What about you,
just
Jake?
reminded
You
me
like
of
are you a cranberry sauce guy?
as long as it's in the cans and I can get the rings on the cranberry.
I fucking hate cranberry sauce. That shit's disgusting.
Yeah, I'm not huge on it, but I need a little bit of it. But you guys are reminding me of my ultimate favorite, have to watch every year movie for Thanksgiving, Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, where the car
Me
rental
too.
girl scene goes, well, and I'll do the crescent rolls and you do the cranberries. You know I can't cook. And your wife's doing the crescent, your wife's doing the rolls.
I'll watch that one this weekend, but the one that we watch on Thursday night after we're done, we have to go down to Matthew's brother's house, is where we all do Thanksgiving at, and then we come back home and I put the TV outside. We pop open a bottle of wine, and then we just watch Christmas Vacation. That's how we kick it off, and with a campfire going.
Okay,
Sounds
Like that.
romantic.
Yeah.
I'll be there maybe.
Christmas
If I'm
season.
lucky.
I know you better be, Matthew.
All right, everybody. If you're still watching again, I was gonna say,
and
everyone
sweet
go
potatoes
home.
with marshmallows for me. That's
Okay, and then Jake, where can they find you
Mm.
if people want to talk to you again? Or
Yeah,
see
In
you?
Iowa somewhere.
You can find me at Fallen Founder on Twitter, and you can find our podcast, Sun's Planet podcast. And we actually just had a fun episode with Will, aka Jericho, where Sun's Planet visited Canada, and we got to learn a little bit about Canada. And if you want to just skip past us complaining about the terrible losing streak we were just on, that's already outside of our memory at this point, just skip to the second half, learn a little bit about Canada. We'll be back this Saturday talking about the Suns, including touching on this victory tonight.
All right, John.
Yeah, that was a great episode. I watched the majority of it until I got to the food part, and you made me hungry, so I had to go get a burrito. But Jericho's great, and your drops are subpar, but the content's getting better, and I appreciate that. And you can follow me at Darth Voida on Twitter and Blue Sky.
No.
All right, everybody, go home. Love